All right, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. It is after 9. Here we go. We are live right now at 9:40 in the morning, or hopefully you're watching us at some point today. Mike and Lisa from AM800. You listen to us 5 to 9 every weekday morning. Here we go. Wednesday morning. Lisa Williams, what's on the docket for you today?
Okay, something interesting I thought was it's one of those conversations you have maybe with your family. Um, and you would think that most of us would know this information, but there's a good chance that you don't. Michael, do you know all four of your grandparents' names?
Huh. I'd really have to think of that. Offhand, no. I think a couple of them I would. Two, I would know for sure. Two, I would be guessing. And then if I heard them, I'd say yes. That of course.
So I do, and I'm not sure why I know them. I guess I don't know if it's because when your grandparents are in another country, maybe they're talked about more. I don't know. But it's funny because both my grandmothers from both sides, I didn't really know. They both passed away quite young. But on my mother's side, my grandparents' names were Ron Don and Millicent Don.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
on my father's side, my grandparents' names were Harry. I always thought he had a really great name. Harry Hamry Williams.
Oh, it's a great name.
Harry Hamry. Harry Hamry Williams. And then I don't know my original grandmother's first name. I forget. But he remarried after she passed, and Dorothy was the grandmother I kind
Okay.
of knew. So, yeah, it's funny though, when they did a survey, there was it was by ancestry.com, and they found that most people do not know all of their grandparents' names.
Hmm.
And then when you get into the great grandparents, only
Oh, no
4% of
chance.
people can do that.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I guess like if you had, I think it's how it's all set up, right? Because I really didn't get to know three of my grandparents. So I have a hard time on my dad's side. My dad's parents, I think his dad's name was John, and my grandmother's name on that side, I don't know. I'm not sure. And then with my grandma being around for so long, just passing away a little while ago, obviously I knew her name and my grandpa's name on that side. So, but great grandparents, I guess, like if you were in a lineage where everybody had kids really young, you might have known your great grandparents even at an older age and remember that kind of stuff.
And not just remember, or maybe you were curious enough to find
True.
out, about your ancestry and who they were and where they worked and what their history was and that kind of thing. And I think because it's so available this in this generation with companies like ancestry.com, and TV shows that kind of look back and make people curious about, where they came from and the history of their family. I think more people today probably know their great grandparents' names, but 2/3 of people said they would like to know more about their family history.
Hmm.
The top 5 things we'd like to know: what region or country did they originally come from?
Okay.
Did they have to overcome any hardships? Where did their last name come from and what does it mean? Are they connected to any historical events? And stories about ancestors, when they were young and what their life was like.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. I would love to do one of those family tree, ancestry type thing to see where everybody's from and how far I could go back to see if I'm related to any royalty or something. Hungarian royalty, maybe.
Yes, I have an aunt who's in England, and she did a family tree for everyone, which was quite nice. And I forget how far back it went. Probably does have our great grandparents on there. But it's interesting. And she actually had a tree, and everybody was like in a little branch.
That's cool.
It's kind of cool.
Like a
Yeah.
real family tree. Yeah.
Yes, I've been meaning to frame
Elizabeth, one
that.
of our relatives, has done this with ancestry history that dates back to the 1600s on my maternal grandmother's side. That's so amazing. Yeah, that is really cool. That's awesome. I'd love to do that.
Leanna, Italians know all their relatives.
Yeah, I think
It's
they
so
do.
true.
Yeah, I think that's very true.
I love that.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
there's nothing new there.
Okay. Does anybody
Yeah.
know of anybody like famous they're related to that they maybe just realized or found out? You know, you're related to this person. Somehow down the line, you're like fifth cousins with Ed Sheeran, or whatever. Like,
Right.
just whatever. You found out. Oh my God, really? That's so cool. So let us know in the thread here on After 9. Wow, a lot of messages coming in about this. Mary, I'm a grandma now, but I never knew who was my dad's dad. Never knew my Mimi to be with anybody. She lived till she was 97. So
She was obviously with somebody at
she
least
was
once.
somebody at some point or along the line, or everything would have stopped. And Mary, you may not have been involved in the world at this point. All right, let's move on to. I thought this was a really interesting story. This is about a bartender, and he had the day off, right? So he was having a few drinks on his day off, and he got a text message from his boss at 3 a.m. in the morning, whatever, to come into work later that day. So the message read, "Hey, I need you to come in at 11 a.m. and work until 10 p.m. today. We have an event scheduled. We only have one bartender. So can you come in?" And he's like, "No, thank you. No, I'm it's my night off. Tomorrow's my day off, and I'm having a few drinks, and it's 3 a.m. already, and I'm not going to go in and work like an 11-hour shift. No, thank you." Well, then a bunch of messages went between the two. The boss was demanding the bartender be a team player. "It's not all about you. Please come in tomorrow." And added that his bartender shouldn't be having a few drinks even on his day off because you got to be ready to work at all times. If I call you, you got to be ready to come in. What are you doing drinking on your day off? I'm like, as if you could tell your employee what to do on their day off.
Unless they are told they're on call.
Well, that's different, and you see that in the medical field a lot, or maybe even in emergency services, firefighters, police, whatever. Okay, you're on call this weekend, by the way, so heads up. I don't see anything about that in this story that this bartender was supposed to be on call just in case. It sounds like he's like, okay, boo, I need another bartender. I forgot to schedule someone. You're coming in. No, I'm not. So the bartender put this post on Reddit, and people were left in shock over all this. One person wrote, he asked, and you said no. And you have absolutely, no right telling you how you should conduct yourself when you're not at work. And if they want people to stay ready for work, they should pay them for their availability. Okay, well, I need you on standby tonight, so I'm going to pay you. Make sure you get some rest. Stay home. Relax. And I might be texting you really, really late to come in tomorrow. If they had that deal set up, I guess that's okay.
I'd be interested to know if this guy says no every time he's asked to come in.
It seems like there's more to it.
Yeah. I don't know why he's so. Yeah. You're contacting him at 3 a.m. That's, first of all, silly. Yeah, and to ask him over at such a long shift the next day. I don't know. It seems like there might be something more, or a history there, or maybe the guy never agrees or said he'd be available and wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what strikes me, I'm not overly concerned about the boss asking him to come in the next day because he's needed and telling him to be a team player, and saying you should say yes. I kind of get that. That's a lot of bosses might have that sort of attitude. It's you shouldn't be drinking on your day off.
Yeah.
So yeah, that part kind of crosses the line, but I think there's something missing here.
Okay. Jason says that happened to me once working in security. I was drinking the night before. They asked how long it would take for me to sober up. I said, "You're encouraging me to drink and drive. I am not going into work."
That's
That's
funny.
weird. It's weird. Like this guy, this boss or manager or whatever, he sounded pretty desperate
Yeah.
to get this guy in to bartend. So I don't know. I think your day's off, your day off. If you want to go in and you want to do a solid or work some overtime, then I think it's up to you. If you say
Right.
no, you say no, right? No
Right.
means no.
Yeah, and he has every right to say no. For sure he does. Yeah, and maybe the boss should have said, "I'll pay you time and a half," or
Yeah. Let me
giving
sweeten the deal for you.
some incentive
Yeah, something.
instead of falling back on the "you shouldn't be drinking."
Yeah.
What did I overhear yesterday? Conversation. Young lady was sitting beside me. I was getting my nails done. She was talking about how many jobs she's had, and one that she quit recently because she was at a job, like a kind of a fast food place, and there were cameras, and they were watching her, and they called
Wow.
in the middle of her shift to tell her that she was not cutting the tomatoes
Oh
properly,
my
and
God, surveillance.
she was leaving too much tomato butt.
Oh,
That she cut the tomato butt,
yeah.
and there was leftover tomato, and that you should cut more tomato off the tomato butt for the. And so she said, "I thought that was
Wow.
weird, and I thought that was weird they were watching me, and that they called me about the tomato butt, so I quit." So I thought that was a very funny story.
Wow. I don't know. Does that happen a lot? Like if you're in the food prep business or some kind of job, do you have cameras on you and like you'll be called out on if you're doing a crappy job or not? Like I've never heard of that before. I can see like the manager, and maybe that's just the way it is these days. Maybe it's like one of those things instead of, the manager kind of, hands behind the back, kind of walking around.
There are cameras
You
everywhere.
left a lot on that butt.
I think if you are told that you're on camera and then you're made aware that there are cameras, I think they're allowed to do it as long as it's not in the bathroom or something.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be in that area. So, like we say, cameras are everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess. Okay, one more thing I wanted to bring up before we get out of here for today. And with the warmer weather happening, more people, I think, are going to be out walking their dogs. And, it's one of those things where do people leave a mess on your lawns when the dogs go and make a mess? A listener sent us this, and this is a note that was left for someone, and it says, "If I catch you leaving your dog blank on my lawn, I will pick it up with my bare hands and slap it on the back of your head." Wow.
I'll tell you, I don't mind. I mean, I see dog walkers, and dogs have to go somewhere.
Well, of course, right? You can't
it-
tell them, okay, no, don't go on the lawn.
But, I think there are people who, and I'm okay with whatever they've got to do as long as they clean it up. But there are some people who take great pride in their lawn and will be completely over the top peed off
Yeah.
if a dog even pees on their lawn. And do they have a right to be angry about that? I think they do.
I think they do. I mean,
They
this is
do.
kind of extreme. Like, this is something that, like, a person, like, obviously is
Left it.
fed up, and maybe it's happened over and over and over again, But, yeah, it would make me mad if people are leaving their dog poop on my lawn. You got to bring the little bag with you. You got to pick it up, and then that's fine. I mean, if your dog goes on my lawn, what am I going to do? I mean, the dog picks the spot, and maybe they like your lawn the best. It seems like Lulu has a couple of favorite lawns in the neighborhood that it's like, oh, okay, here we go, showtime. But,
That's
like,
funny.
oh, my God, wow.
But yes, you got to be a responsible dog owner and pick it up. I walk the Herb Gray Parkway trails and see a lot of mess, and I'm like, how
Yeah.
can they? If nobody's around, they don't feel the need to pick it up. That's
Now, do you think that's from the dogs or the gooses and ducks that are out there?
well, I think you can tell.
Oh,
You
I
can
see.
tell.
Okay.
Yeah. Even some
All right.
horses go along
Oh yeah,
that
the horse.
trail.
I've seen the horses on the trail there
And they
before. It's
leave,
crazy. It's
yeah, right in
crazy.
the middle. That is brutal. That's brutal. Like, get
Mm.
off your horse. And I've been
Get
a
off
horse
your
owner.
get
Get
off your
off
high
your
horse. Pick up the poop,
Kick
please.
it aside. Do whatever you got to do. Don't leave it there.
You know what we do? Kelly has had this idea, and I think it's a brilliant idea because sometimes you forget the bag, right? So, and I've even gone back if I forgot a bag and found the spot. I mark the spot with a stick or something, and I'll go back to the spot and pick it up because I feel bad if I leave it there. But Kelly has a great thing. She ties like extra bags onto Lulu's leash,
Yeah.
so so we bring one with us. But if you forgot, there's some tied to the leash.
Good
So
idea.
that works too.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I know even when I dog sit occasionally, I have, like, for weeks, bags in every coat pocket, just sort of, oh, there's another one.
I had 4 come out in the wash the other day that were at the bottom of the washer after I did the clothes. So, yep, they are everywhere.
Great.
One of those things when you were a dog owner. Okay, everyone, have a great day. Enjoy your Wednesday. Back tomorrow on the morning drive between 5 and 9 and here on After.